All right, we are live here at the Magic Creation Center. We'll be recording a podcast live for all of you to watch. So everything that's going to happen here is live, but uh, in between this live stream, we'll be doing a podcast episode. So we kind of adding the different segments for this podcast episode that's called Between Two Balls. So we're just gonna get started momentarily. Hopefully everyone could hear me okay. Yeah, and we have a guest with us also. So this is a new podcast that we're doing, and it's something that we've been wanting to try different ideas and different concepts of different shows. So this is a new one, and it's mostly geared towards the 6 foot artists that we have coming in for the festival next week. So part of the festival won't be necessarily in the podcast, but we'll be interviewing the guest artists on getting to know them. Yeah. So I'll save that for the segment of introducing the guests that we have in the green room right now. And the guest is going to be um, tuning in with us via the internet. So we have wonderful guests in a green room right now. So how's it going? Does it look good? Is it all ready? Are you ready to do the podcast segment? So after this podcast segment, we'll at the end we'll say, okay, see you later, and then I'll go to that ending scene for a few seconds, and then I'll go back to me and the guest to it's kind of like the backstage stuff where we could promote other stuff after. But yeah, we're gonna do a podcast called Between Two Balls. So here we go. We're gonna count down in 5, 4. Ani Bojo, welcome to Between Two Balls, the only podcast that's powered by Bingo Balls. My name is Ashley Mantwabi, your host. So, what we do during this podcast is we interview guest artists from the area and from other areas. But right now, we're going to be doing it via the internet. We have a special guest with us, uh, Manidoo Bineshiinh, coming all the way from Bineshiinh at her hometown in her room, waiting for us to all listen to her stories, experiences, and wisdoms and get to know some artists. So is everybody ready? We're going to get started. Uh, Manidoo Bineshiinh is my nitayas, which means cousin. How's it going, Manidoo?
Hi, I'm doing good. Just staying busy in the garden.
Oh, so what do you have harvesting today? Anything?
Um, I've been harvesting a lot of medicine, so a lot of sage and sweetgrass right now. And I'm gonna go out for some cedar probably later today. I've been checking in on the things I've been waiting to harvest, which are watermelons and peppers and sunflowers. So those are still growing big and strong
So what got you?
right now.
Yeah. So what got you into harvesting stuff from the land and also gardening?
Well, a big part of my life here in Atikameksheng was land-based living. I went out on the land with my father a lot and my mother. So we do a lot of hunting and fishing and gathering. We also went for a lot of hikes as kids, and we got to learn a lot about the medicines and the trees and the animals. Just, observations on everyday life on the land and following every season. So that's how I just really became passionate about those things because it's like in my DNA. I just cannot stop.
So thinking about you cannot stop. Uh, what do you have that you're looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to my dream becoming like a real vision, something that people can share with me, and being able to allow others to see what they're capable of in their own spaces, and being able to identify plants is a big part of what I like to help with. I'm not an expert, but I do um, learn a lot from the people around me, and I use their knowledge to be able to teach others, because I just feel like, the only way for us to learn is if we are given the opportunity, and also if we share those teachings that we've been given. And the only way that I could know about these things is from the people before me sharing what they know and what they've learned and what they've experienced. And I just feel like our stories are so important to not only self-discovery, but helping others find their gifts too, and being able to, practice those gifts, and being given that opportunity to share what they want to share with the world.
Oh wow! So that there's a lot of people that are interested in gardening and harvesting, and also taking on that role also as someone that's a harvester, a gatherer, and learning as they grow. So speaking of the youth, are you working with any youth currently?
Well, currently I do a lot of community gardening in Atikameksheng. I've also helped start a group within the greater Sudbury area to do community gardening. So there has been a bit of a land back movement with that, and having homeowners in Wanop donate a quarter acre of their land for us to farm. And so being able to teach other people how to grow food organically, teaching about, safe food, and what that looks like, meaning non-GMO food, and as well as regenerative farming, where you work with the land around you, and help build it up to become a stronger, healthy nutrient for our food to grow rich nutrient food. And that's a lot of the times when I go into the garden to harvest, the youth are walking by and they just ask if they can help. And so it's really enjoyable for me to be able to spend that time in the garden with them and show them what I'm doing, because I'm not going to claim to be uh, knowing everything about that garden space, but what I have learned and what I do know, I can share with them, and then they can find what they like to do in the garden, because gardening isn't just about the food, it's about, the soil, and it's about learning how to take care of trees, and also learning how to harvest medicines and how to use those medicines. Again, I'm not a herbalist either, but I do know from my own experiences what is safe. And so that's what I know I can share.
So there's a lot of life learning opportunities where like a lifestyle also when you're gardening. I know myself, most of you might know that I also do gardening. I garden, I seed save. I've been doing it for many years. Started out young gardening, but in the past maybe 16, 17 years, I've been seed saving. And I know that's
Mm.
rewarding. And I'm always curious to hear from you. What are some interesting things that you're gardening?
Well, I think the funnest thing that everyone's really surprised about is watermelon, because I've grown it a few years now, and it seems to do really well. And I think that's the most interesting thing that people don't realize. We can grow watermelon here because we're in the northern uh, side of the zones, that like people just think that it's not really possible. But if you do it at the right time, it is possible to be picking watermelon out of the garden and eating it and sharing it. And there has been times when we've had shorter seasons and the watermelon couldn't go completely to ripeness, but I've still picked them and eaten them, and they're still fresh. They're still delicious. They're just not the same watermelon that you would see at the grocery store. And I think that's really cool to experience too, because you get to learn through that and knowing what works and what doesn't work. And knowing that things, if you just leave them for a bit longer, even if you cut them off the vine, they'll still ripen, just like tomatoes. They will ripen and become something that you can enjoy at a later time. It's just sometimes you have to be patient, and that's a lesson in itself. So
Yes, patience is key. I had many seeds where I have saved them for like 3 years until I actually ate uh, the bean as one of them. Keeping it short in regards to the seed saving and the beautiful watermelons that are people are harvesting right now in the north. I know there's also honeydews also you could do because I did some honeydew plants also. Those are pretty sweet, and you'd think you could only plant those in like the southern, more like a zone. I don't know what is it, the zone 7. Is that how you go? Do you go up to get hotter, or is it lower? I think it's up. But
I
anyway,
think it's up to.
speaking about some of the focus that we want to get into is Manidoo, of being an artist and the art you do and how you incorporate art in your life.
Well, my space, Manidoo Bineshiinh Dreams, is out in Whitefish, Ontario, and it's an eco art studio where I am learning how to become more of an eco artist, in the sense of utilizing the plants and making pigments with them so that they can become paints or inks, and using those in my paintings. Also making fabrics out of reclaiming old bed sheets and doing eco printing. So what I do is I usually ask people who have done these things, and I allow them to practice that art in the garden, so that they can teach others how to do it, and they can also experiment with their own teachings and be really comfortable in practicing, so that they can do those experimentations. So I've also had an artist come in and paint a mural, and they painted their first freehand mural, which I really encouraged them to do, because it was, to me, whatever they were going to come up with was going to be just what we needed, and it would be beautiful no matter what we did, and giving people the opportunity to have that freedom, I think, is really freeing, and it eliminates any anxiety and stress that they have around what's going to happen in the space. And so I really like to promote stress-free spaces and safe spaces.
Yes, that's really nice to have a space like that for people to give them that opportunity and a lot of different ways, and encouraging people to just make that first step forward and take those opportunities. Doing this podcast between two balls, we were given the opportunity to create a podcast like this one for episode 1. This is actually going to be my first time doing this. This next segment that's going to be coming up. So, what are you ready, Vanessa? Because what's going to happen here is we're going to have a little explanation video that's going to come up, and then some bingo balls are going to come up, and a bingo collar, and then we're going to do this interview a little bit differently than what we're doing now. So, are you?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
And now it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. Between two balls. Here's how it works. We'll pick one ball with an emotion and one ball with a character. Then Ashley will become that emotional character and the interview keeps rolling. Let's see what we pull today.
All right. I don't know if everybody can see me, but we got a bingo caller here who's gonna start this. So bingo caller, give those balls a shuffle.
We got I-22 for our first number. I-22 is curious. I-22, your emotion is curious. Our next roll will determine our character. N37. N37. That gets us magician. A curious magician. N37. Magician.
Okay, what was the first number again? I-22?
I-22.
So under the I-22, we have curious. So that's the emotion that I'm gonna have in me for this next segment. And N37 is the character that I have to be, and that's magician. You guys didn't know, I'm actually a magician part-time. So this is gonna be interesting. Like, do I act myself or do I act like like a different kind of magician, that the stereotypical kind or something like that? Now I have to figure this out. All right, a curious magician. So is everybody ready? All right, let's see if we could pull this off there. My first subject, Manidoo Bineshiinh. How do we do this now? Hello, my name's Magic Manitou. So before we get started, we're gonna do something here. So as you see, I got these wonderful questions here. And as you see, Ashley appears as the host. And I'm gonna be interviewing the wonderful Bineshiinh class. So what does actually Manidoo Bineshiinh mean?
Manidoo Bineshiinh is spirit bird.
Spirit bird. So you're like a spirit in a bird, or you're a bird in a spirit? Or a bird?
That's a good question. I think I'm all of the above.
All of the above. That's a really good answer. You see this pen? Sometimes it's all above, right? All of the above. You go like that. You go 1, 2. How much times you do this? 3. And then you throw it up. And then you're all good. Manidoo Bineshiinh. Is that how it works? No? I'm just joking. I got my pen here. And I got a few here. I got some magical spells that I want to ask you that are going to come true for you. But already came true. But I'm just curious how they came true. Okay, so what's one thing you've accomplished that makes you really proud? That was magical.
Oh, okay. This is a good one, actually. This just happened to me this month. So I've been working really hard in food sovereignty, and I've just been recognized by Earth Care Sudbury as a climate action champion. And you can actually find a billboard of me around Sudbury area.
A billboard of Manidoo Bineshiinh. Did you hear that, everybody? So how far is that from, let's say, Manitoulin Island?
It's actually about 2.5 hours where you could see these billboards. And it's because I nurture food forests. So what can you do?
Well, I could pull out another paper from my hat. I mean, paper from my sleeve. I mean, from my hand. And I could ask you another question. So this is based on some of the mistakes and lessons that I've learned as being a magician. And one of the curious things that I really want to know is, what's a mistake or failure that ended up teaching you something important?
Okay, well, I mean, yes, we all make mistakes, and sometimes things don't turn out the way that we would have liked them to. And I think I would have referred to them as challenges because, as we're learning, that's how we learn. You have to make a mistake in order to learn from that, right? And so I think, yeah, planting too late was one of the things that I really found to be very taxing on me as a farmer, because you're trying to provide food to the community, and if you can't provide the abundance of that food, then you have to rely on your food forest and wild fruits and medicines. So yeah, make sure that you really know which zone that you're gardening in, and what should be planted when.
Can you hold up right there? Because I got a few magic spells to spare. One of them is, why did you plant so late? And why are you feeding the community and not yourself?
Well, I just really wanted to help the community understand what it is to be self-sufficient in our food sovereignty. And I really wanted to help the community understand what it is to provide healthy food, because a lot of these grocery stores are selling organic food, but our families and our communities can't afford to access that food. So how do we create safe food that can be accessible? We provide markets that you can pay what you can, and even if you can't pay today, you can still take some food home with you. And I was in the middle of farming and learning how to farm from other farmers. And so my seedlings came in late because I started planting the seeds too late. And so certain produce didn't make it to term because I just didn't plant it at the right time and seed it properly.
Well, Manidoo Bineshiinh, you can always count on me. I could give you some of those magical spells there, because anything could happen. So yeah, just send me an email if you want at a.mantwabi@debauch.ca, and I could send you some magical spells. So if you fall behind or if you make mistakes, we could fix that right up anytime.
Amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Thanks for your support.
So based out of my secret sauce, I'm always curious to hear other people's secret sauces. So what's your unique strength or gift that people might not notice right away?
I think one of my gifts is to allow others the space and the opportunity to give something a try, even if it's for the first time. I'm really into creating a safe space and encouraging others to just try something. So even if you haven't practiced it a lot, I'm gonna be there to help you through it and support you through what you feel like your vision is. Because Manidoo Bineshiinh Dreams is about allowing other people to dream and bring those visions to life.
Wow. Well, could I try something now?
Mm-hmm.
Something that I haven't tried before, but I know it's good to try stuff. And if you give me the opportunity, maybe I'll try. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try something with this pen. And you know what pens are used for, right? They're actually
Mm-hmm.
write stuff down and take notes and things like that. So I'm going to try something. All right. So sometimes I've seen this on TikTok and YouTube, and you just put your hand like this and then you hold, and then, oh, it's supposed to stay, but uh, let me try that again. Give me the second opportunity, second chance, please, please, please. Okay,
Yeah.
let me try. Give me a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there you go, Manitoba.
Whoa.
Anytime, anywhere, you could count on me. If anything that you need, just count on me, okay? But if you don't email me and you're having problems, this is what's going to happen to me. All right, I got one more final question for you as the curious magician.
All right.
Based on getting motivated here and excited about this time with you, uh, what keeps you going on the hardest and most grungiest and what other kind of word could I use? Spontaneous days.
The thing that really keeps me going is the support and positivity that I get from the community and from the outside community. A lot of the people that are reaching out to me to continue doing this work actually don't come from Atikameksheng. And so I just actually booked a garden tour on the weekend. And those people reached out to me at a time when I was ready to give up, because I was running out of energy. I wasn't getting the support that I really needed. And that is what really drove me to say, I need to keep doing this because people want it. People are supporting it, and that means that I'm reaching the right people, and so that's what really helps me to keep going.
You hear it? You heard that, folks. Manidoo Bineshiin. Keep that community live and well, because in return they'll give you back the beautiful magic that ever happens in any community, and that's that support and encouragement from you all. So this is the segment of Between Two Balls with the Curious Magician. All right, folks, there you go. The Curious Magician. You never know what's going to happen in the segment or what's going to happen. Let's bring Manidoo Bineshiin. So, yes, we got some really encouraging words from you, and a lot of interesting things came out as me being a curious magician. I think you kind of lightened up a little bit more in your, and a lot of things came out that were beautiful. And so I just want to ask you, how could people reach Manidoo Bineshiin if they need to?
Um, yeah, so I'm on Instagram. You can find me at Manidoo Bineshiin,
Can we see?
Manidoo Bineshii, and you can also email me there at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Perfect.
Mhm.
And um, what are some things that you're looking forward to um, in the near future?
Well, I'm really looking forward to some fall and winter crops. I'm planning those right now. I'm really looking forward to and excited about the garlic, because garlic is my favorite thing to plant in the fall, and I know it'll be there when the everything opens up in the spring. It will start to pop up there, and then I'll be able to harvest it in the summertime. So that's one of my favorite things, because I get to start it now, and then I get to see it growing over time through the summer while I'm getting the rest of the spring crops ready.
Oh, nice. So, you guys heard it here, folks, from Manidoo Bineshiin. If you want to go out to Sudbury, like you said, there's a billboard of her, of some words of inspiration on that board. I did share it on my Facebook page. You could probably see it there. I seen your mother shared it gracefully, so I said I need to share this too, because
Yeah.
we need to show this as much as possible, because food is important, and food is life, food is health, food is art, food is food. So and all those things that you're doing with the community, um, not necessarily your own community, but other community members, and things like that. Sometimes we need to grow a little bit more, where we need to share with a little bit more, like this kind of medium as a podcast, to get people's attention and encouragement and motivation to stay connected with your local artists, local gardeners, and homesteaders, because they are an important part of society and culture today. So I just like to say thank you for watching Between Two Balls. All right, that's the end of the Between Two Balls episode that we recorded in between this live. So you could find that on YouTube podcasts, and we'll also be expanding our podcast series in other podcasts. What are ones like Spotify? What else is there? Twitch. Is that a podcast? That's not a podcast. Yeah, but there's other ones. Let's just bring Manidoo Bineshiin back up. She's still on there? Are you still on there? Check one.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so um, if there's no questions for Manidoo Bineshiin from the people. Is there any questions out there, Dan? No questions out there, so that's great. And but if you have any questions, put it in the comments if you're watching the replay. But now is the best time to ask you questions if you have any questions out there. Um, but if you don't have any questions, what did I say? Yeah, you could email Manidoo Bineshiinh at gmail.com or find her on Instagram, Manidoo Bineshiinh. That's without the N and the H?
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Is there any last words that you want to say?
Well, I just wanted to thank you for having me today. This is also something that, gave me a little boost of energy when I needed it. So, I just really appreciate the support, and I really love the format you're using to do this because it was really fun. It really brought me out of my shell, and I was able to have fun with you, and I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to the 6 Foot Festival.
Yes, that's the word on the street, everybody. Next week is our 16th annual 6 Foot Festival. Aki O'Oma. That's the Earth's language. We have 16 artists that are going to be showcasing for our festival. And one of them is Manidoo Bineshiinh, who's going to do an installation, and she's going to be here next week. So that starts on September 26th, the Friday. It's going to be all day that day. It'll be 12 hours of festivities, and then on the Saturday it's going to be on the 27th of September, and that's going to be from 9 till 3 p.m. because there's a powwow that's happening in our community here in Wukmukong that day also, so it gives people opportunity to go check out the powwow also. So I
Yes.
say Chimigwech Manidoo for coming in to be our first guest on Between Two Balls. And
Yeah.
yes, signing out.
Thanks a lot.
See you, Kwame.